Hey guys. So many people have different opinions and kind of feelings about how psychology or the role that psychology plays in the church and in Christianity and just in religion as a whole. I think it's important to kind of talk about many different opinions on this and many different like ways of kind of thinking about it and what each of those ways means. But one thing I wanted to bring up today is kind of the potential harm that can be caused in neglecting psychology as a whole, or counseling, or kind of any sort of importance of like mental health in the church. So one of the kind of main categories of the opinions of the integration of psychology and Christianity are that you only need the Bible, you only need religion, you only need Christianity, you don't need psychology, you don't need counseling, you don't need any kind of mental health help. Jesus kind of covers it all. And while I definitely get that, again, I'm only speaking on my opinion. So while I get that, and while I know, well, first, Jesus is kind of Lord over all. Like, Jesus is able to do anything that he wants. Like, God is able to do anything he wants. So I'm not at all arguing for we should trust psychology as God or any of that. But I do think that there is harm in neglecting the importance of mental health and seeking out professional mental health for people in the church when we say that you should only be able to just read the Bible and everything should be fixed. Like, there's that opinion of, well, if God can do anything, then he can kind of fix your problems, or like, like kind of fix what's going on, and you don't need mental health help. While I get this, there's a lot of people within the church who actually probably half, if not most, I'm sure, have struggled with like mental health kind of issues at some point during their life, if not throughout their life. And a lot of times, like, God is not going to, or like if we have mental health issues, or if we have like mental health disorders or things that we struggle with, God is not always just gonna like, here you go, like it's gone, like once you ask for it to be gone, I'm gonna like take it away. A lot of the times we struggle with those things, and that's part of God's plan for us, because like in our weaknesses and in our struggles, he can show his strength. So while I'm not saying that we should just kind of get those things away or to be gone, mental health is, and like counseling and psychology is really important, because we are also told to bear one another's burdens and to help each other when we're struggling and things like that. God is not always going to just like kind of poof, take things away, or take depression away, or take anxiety away. And a lot of the times, I don't know, okay, for example, growing up, I kind of struggled with like depression and anxiety. And I know a lot of people who have. I know very few people who haven't. It's a very common thing to struggle with, at least at some point in your life. And it's a difficult thing to struggle with. But I don't know, kind of growing up, no one ever outright told me this, but I felt like I had gotten the message in my head somehow that if I ask God to take these things away, or to help me struggle less, and if I asked him to, he should be able to, or he will. And for years, I asked him, like, can you take this away? Like, can you help me with this? And just like prayed and prayed and prayed, and felt like there was no answer, and it wasn't being taken away. And things weren't necessarily like getting better, just with those kind of just, getting in your head, and just like those symptoms and things like that. And I, with those prayers not getting answered, I kind of thought, I had all these beliefs that like, well, maybe God can't do anything that he wants, or he won't, or maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not a good enough Christian for God to help me with these things, because God helps people with other things, but why is he not helping me with this thing? And so maybe I'm not like a good enough Christian, maybe I'm not praying hard enough, maybe I'm not going to church enough, and all these things, like performance-based doubts in my mind, kind of kept me from relying on God or seeing the truth about God and who he is and what he can do for us, and kind of like our relationship with him. Not what he can do for us. That sounded wrong. But like his abilities and ability to be able to like change things and to like have an effect on what people are struggling with, you know? So yeah, like I just got a lot of like those doubts in my mind, and it really made me feel like it wasn't like good enough, wasn't a good enough Christian. And it wasn't until later, like later on in my life after college, things really turned around for my own like kind of depression and anxiety struggles, and I was able to instill a lot of like better habits into my life and like ways of thinking, and I went to see a therapist and was able to talk through a lot of things that really helped with just kind of like my overall mental health and well-being. And it really showed me, I actually learned so much in that process through therapy, but also just in my normal kind of everyday life with things that I really pushed myself with and grew with, like being able to be vulnerable with people, being able to let people see things about me that I was embarrassed about, guilty about, struggled with. And just like being able to implement more self-discipline and kind of like the word self-care is thrown around, so I hate saying that word, but like just being able to take care of myself as I would someone else and other people as I would myself, and just like learn better habits and kind of mindsets for life. And it also really grew my relationships and like strengthened my relationships with people, being able to be more open and vulnerable and like trusting people with different things. Like it taught me so much. And it also taught me, I also learned so much about the Bible and about God through that process. And that would not have happened if God had just, boom, taken the anxiety and depression away. Like he actually used that. One of the ways he used that was like being able to learn how important mental health is, and like better habits to put it, like to play out in my life, and how to like strengthen my relationships. And so yeah, I think it's just like, you know, I wouldn't have learned those things if I wouldn't have gone to therapy or really like talked openly and vulnerably with other people, or like use things that I was learning in psychology to be able to push myself with different things. So yeah, like things don't just like magically become fixed when you're a Christian. And yeah, like you're not just gonna like sit around just praying like, God, please take this away, and he's just gonna boom take it away. Like he uses our struggles to show his strength. And one of those things can be therapy, being able to teach someone, you know, one of his children or his children, to open up to someone that he loves, or open up to someone that can like help them and come alongside them and teach them like different things that they need to, or that would help them in their life. And also when someone is struggling with their mental health, being able to like them being able to go get help not only helps them, but it also helps the relationships and the people in their life that kind of they are around on a daily basis or on a weekly basis or whatever, like friendships and family. Like that really plays a role. Like if you're not in a good headspace or mental health kind of space, like that, like good or bad, that's going to affect your relationships in your life. I think my opinion is that it's really important to not just neglect the importance of psychology and the importance of mental health help, because like it plays so much of a role in our daily lives. And like when I was in a better headspace, I was able to better love people in my life, like show people love. And yes, we can do that with the grace of God and like with the forgiveness that we receive from him. Like that helps tremendously. Like that's like the biggest thing. But being able to like learn different habits in my life and better ways to communicate with others really helped as well. So I think just like in the practice and study of the integration of psychology and Christianity, that's something that like practical aspect of things is a huge and important thing to remember. So just wanted to bring that up. All right, bye.